We in these streets.
Yep. What's going on? What's going on, man? As you guys know, man, another day. We out to get this shit on, man. As always, go to 3kingsboxing.com for the latest what's going on in the sport of boxing. Shout out to everybody over there at 3 Kings Boxing. And man, we got my man Prodigy in the building. What's going on, Prodigy?
What up, man? What up?
And then we got senior writer Michael Wilson Jr. What's going on, man?
What's good, fam? What's good?
All right, then, man. Let's go ahead on and get this shit cracking, man. I can't wait. Y'all saw the fight. Y'all should already know what's happening. 3 Kings Boxing here to break everything down like we should, man. But before we get started, as always, man, we like to look at the prospects. Now, one prospect that was on the co-main event, of course, was Keyshawn Davis, man. I gotta say, man, I see all the hype about him. I get all the hype and everything, but I gotta admit, man, I'm not as impressed as everybody else, man. Am I wrong for not being overly impressed? Okay.
Like Keyshawn Davis is a good fighter, dog. He
right.
is, right.
I agree.
He's up and coming at 135. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely going to be somebody that reigns at that division and the division above him. You know, as he progresses. But the way that they're talking about the kid is as if you see some of the same shit that you saw in Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney when they were prospects.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that, bro. Like, I see shades of Terrence Crawford in his style, right? How he fights, how he reads you for like the first couple of rounds, and then he goes in there and dominates, right? After he's got all the data, you know, stored away in his memory bank about what he can do to exploit your weaknesses, right?
Right.
Once he has that stored, then he executes his game plan in real time and he dominates. That's the same shit Terrence Crawford does, right?
Yep.
However, he doesn't look as smooth as Shakur and Devin Haney and even Terrence Crawford when he was younger, right?
Right.
He doesn't look as smooth as those guys did when they were prospects while he's downloading data to his data bank. You see what I'm saying? Like this cat tonight, bro, he was getting tagged all over the place.
Yeah,
now cats are going to be like, oh, man, you know, he was sick. And, you know, he had some time. Now I don't hear that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because whether he's sick or he's active, the guy that he fought, right, should not be in the same ring with him in the first place. If he's as good as y'all say he is.
Agreed.
Or let me say he's as good as these announcers. You know, Andre Ward literally all over this nigga, bro. You know what I'm saying? If he's as good as these announcers say he is, and a lot of these fans say he is, doesn't matter if the nigga was sick. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter if, you know what I'm saying, he had all sorts of shit going on in life. He should have whooped this dude's ass earlier without getting tagged as much as he did.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, I like Keyshawn Davis. I think, like I said, he's going to be one of those top fighters in and around his division as time goes by. But to say that he's going to be a top 10 pound for pound fighter by next year, man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Well, shit, I think you got Bomac talking about something. He's going to be fighting for a title next year. He's going to be fighting for a title next year.
Bomac doesn't look past his next meal, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
Bomac see a cheeseburger in the next couple hours. That's what the fuck that nigga see, bro. I don't know what he's talking about, man. As long as you get that nigga a plate, he'll say anything.
Hey, Mike, what's your thoughts on Keyshawn Davis, man? Are you impressed? Do you think he's the real deal? What's your thoughts?
The talent is there, but there's still rough patches there, things that need to be smoothed out. Forget what Bomac says. He's often guilty of hyperbole. We all know that. When you look at certain fighters coming up, you can tell that they are special. To 2K's earlier point, it's the ability to process things like that, right? And when you look in past history, Roy Jones, right? Even though he came along slow, that wasn't his own fault. That was his dad, right? But you could see the obvious talent, his ability to process things just like that. the transition was easy. He didn't even have to think. We talk about Shakur. It was the same thing with him. And then there are some other fighters that come to mind. Even someone like a Camacho back in the 80s. I don't see that kind of quick transition with that ability to process things just on the fly with Keyshawn. Plus, I don't think his jab is that good. No. Right? It's average, at times below average. He got the win tonight, but he should have taken him out sooner, because every time he hit him hard, particularly with the right hand, he was wobbling him. And the fact that he had to work to that degree to get a knockout that should have came really 2-3 rounds earlier, I could argue. That says that again, he's good, but there's still some development there. And the thing about him being a top 10 guy again, that's a little bit of hyperbole on the part of Bomac.
Well, see, I wouldn't take anything away from him for not knocking the guy out earlier, because a lot of these guys they trying to get rounds in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that could have been Keyshawn's, whole focal point. He's been out of the ring. He's been inactive. He should have fought twice this year, but this is the only time he's fought, right? So he's trying to get rounds in. I have no problem with that. My problem is him getting hit as much as he did against a fighter of this caliber, but then you want to tell me he's a top 10 fighter by next year. He can't get hit the way he got hit tonight against this caliber of fighter and then turn around and say he's going to be a top 10 pound for pound fighter next year. Not at all.
Agree with that. I agree with that. And I'm going to tell y'all something else, man. I think Keyshawn is starting to fall in love with the ability to knock fighters out. And that's the reason why he's telegraphing his punches. Sometimes fighters can see it. Hell, that's also the reason why you'll see I'm not going to say sloppy, but you'll see him use lesser of the techniques than we saw when he first broke onto the scene coming out of the amateurs, because he actually started to buy into his ability of being able to hurt these guys and knock them out. And that could be a dangerous thing if you don't maintain just his regular basic boxing skills and improve upon that. So I think there's a lot of things to play there, but I definitely agree. I'm not going to get mad if I'm not knocking the guy out, but all the hoopla and holler, like you said, Andre Ward and him talking about something, and Timothy Bradley put him like number 5 on the hot list. No, man, he needs a little bit more polishing for me, man. For any
okay, put it this way. They're talking about moving him along the same pace of Floyd Mayweather when Floyd Mayweather came out of the Olympics. Do you see anything Floyd like in Keyshawn Davis in terms of his style, in terms of his growth?
No. I don't even see anything Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson like in Keyshawn, let alone Floyd. Like, I don't even see them two cats in Keyshawn. I see shades. And when I say shades, I'm talking literally a fucking shadow, nigga, of Terrence Crawford in his game, bro. And that's only because how he approaches the fight, to where he takes some time to build up his data bank on your flaws and then exploits them. That's it. Other than that, nah, man, they need to shit. I mean, I like fighters getting moved quickly. I like that.
Right.
Especially when you've gone to the Olympics and won medals. You don't need to go pro and get moved, you know what I'm saying, like a Xander Zayas or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that boy named? Spencer.
Joey Spencer.
Joey Spencer. Getting moved like him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So Keyshawn should get moved fast. He's got the experience. He's got the amateur pedigree. Why would they move him slow? My problem is, stop saying this guy is something that he can't possibly be by next year. That's all I'm saying. Move him fast, like they moved Shakur Stevenson fast. He's a fucking 2-division champion, and he's only got 18, 19 fights or something like that?
Yeah.
So that's considered being moved fast, right? Of course, Lomachenko was moved fast. Move him fast, but don't try to convince me after I'm watching him get hit by a dude that I can go find a 16-year-old to murk this nigga up real quick. You know what I'm saying? He's getting hit by this guy, and you're trying to convince me he's going to be a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter in 2023. Stop.
Yeah.
But he's a good fighter.
Yeah, listen, we're not taking nothing away from the guy. We definitely tell you he's a good fighter. We've done, tons of articles on him, so we're not taking nothing away. But for them to be the way they're talking about him, I didn't see the move that they're talking about, like you said, top 10 fighter, hell, fight for a championship next year. I didn't see that. I didn't see it at all, especially when you're looking at some of the names that's at the division right now. I didn't see that.
He's at 135, man. I mean, Keyshawn Davis, like, I don't like Ryan Garcia as a fighter. So yeah, Keyshawn Davis probably beats Ryan Garcia, which is fucked up.
That's fucked up.
But I'm just saying though. But that's the situation. Like, somebody like Ryan Garcia's caliber. And a lot of people think Ryan Garcia is a top level fighter. He's not. He's beat Luke Campbell and a fat ass Javier Fortuna. He's not a top level fighter. He's I've said before on the show that Michel Rivera probably beats fucking Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Garcia realistically is down there on that level where Keyshawn Davis is at with only 6 fights, in my fucking opinion. Right? I haven't seen anything impressive about Ryan Garcia. Right? He has a better resume than Keyshawn, obviously, with those 2 wins. But skill-wise, I don't see anything impressive about Ryan Garcia that makes me say he's a top-level fighter. Now, if you talk about him fighting for a title, that's Devin Haney and some of the other top contenders, Tank Davis and, George Kambosos, I don't think he's ready for Devin Haney or Tank Davis, man. Not at all.
No. Go ahead, Mike. He's about to say something.
How would you compare him to, what's the guy Spence promote? Frank Martin.
I think Frank Martin is I think Frank Martin's another guy that he's not overrated because they're not telling him that he's, going to be a top 10 pound for pound fighter by next year. But he's another guy that I think should be put on the fast track, just like Keyshawn Davis. I think they're talking about Frank Martin and Chris Colbert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good fight for him because, Chris Colbert lost to that one kid. God, I got his face.
Hector Garcia,
thank you. He lost to Hector Garcia. So I think that's a good fight for someone like Frank Martin. But that's who, like, Keyshawn Davis should be targeting somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? That is a good fighter, but has flaws, and is a respected fighter like Chris Colbert is, that he can exploit and put that name on his resume. And then we can move on to saying, okay, this nigga might be top 10, right? Agreed. Like what Shakur Stevenson did today, and I see some cats in the chat saying that they weren't impressed by his win and all that. At the end of the day, what he did tonight, right, given Robson Conceicao's amateur pedigree, and even as a professional, how he's fought as a professional, this right here should make you a believer of Shakur Stevenson. And that's the type of fight that Keyshawn Davis needs.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that, let's stay on that. So we're talking about the Conceicao fight and Stevenson fight. Let's touch on why Shakur Stevenson was so dominant. Now, we all expected him to win, but nobody expected him to look this dominant. And, like I said, I see some of the comments in here, and I don't know what you're watching and what you're looking at. Like somebody said, maybe you lost money betting against Shakur Stevenson, but you can't sit here and tell me, if you know Conceicao, if you know his background, his like you said, his amateur pedigree background, hell, even if you watched him fight when he fought Oscar Valdez, right, and a fight that he should have won, no one can sit here and say, if you really looking at this fight with unbiased eyes, this was an excellent performance of a very good fucking fighter that he just fucking dominated. He was able to do anything he wanted. And then, so the question is, why was he so dominated? Well, the one reason why I believe he was so dominated was Shakur Stevenson was able to quickly and immediately set the tempo of the fight. Then he started switching degrees. So sometimes he would pick it up, sometimes he would slow it down. He started going to the body. He definitely started going to that body. He saw Conceicao was having problems with that body. I also like the fact that he was coming forward, not giving as Conceicao was going backwards, not letting Conceicao get his rhythm or get into a rhythm. And then the most important thing was he was the commander of the foot positioning when you have a lefty versus a fucking orthodox fighter. So there was a lot of things that he did, in my honest opinion. And on top of that, on top of that, god damn, cool. Shakur Stevenson sees things in real time, and it's almost like it's slow to him. It's almost like he's seeing it as fast as it's coming. He sees it as if it's super slow to him, and his reaction time and his ability to counter and figure out what punches he want to throw and figure out how to go from offense to defense was also very good in this fight, man. He was laser focused, man. Either one of y'all jump right in, man. Why do you guys think he
Well,
was dominant?
you said something. You took my point. The biggest factor here was foot positioning. And that's what I was looking at from round one. Shakur Stevenson kept his foot on the outside. Honestly, and I don't know how you guys were paying attention to that, the time that Robson Conceicao finally got foot positioning was the round that you could have arguably given to him, and that was round 8. That's when he actually won foot positioning. Every single round before and after that, he lost foot positioning. Shakur was taking this big step forward with his lead foot, and that was not only making Conceicao flinch to that somewhat of a feint, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was also making him step back, which was making him give up lead foot positioning, bro. When you stepping back, right, you can't keep your foot on the outside against an a southpaw, right? So that was a huge one right there. The next huge point was the body work, man. I didn't expect Shakur to go to the body as much as he did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually expected that game plan from Conceicao because Shakur Stevenson can mix it up. If he's not walking you down, he can, fight from mid-range or all the way on the outside. So I thought that was going to happen with Conceicao, but Shakur broke him down to the body, so he wouldn't have a chance to switch it up, right? Because Conceicao can do the same thing.
Sure can.
He can stand there and outbox you from mid-range distance. Not much of an inside game, which you saw today is why he was holding so much, right? Yeah. But he can box you from mid-range distance, and then he can switch it up and utilize the ring and make you miss. Well, Shakur was walking him down and going to the body, right? So that he couldn't switch it up and start using the ring. And once Conceicao tried to do that after Shakur banged that motherfucking body up, he was too tired. And I hate to take Andre Ward's point. I mean, I shouldn't even say it's Andre Ward's point, because I was saying the same shit while I was watching the goddamn fight, but y'all can't hear me because I'm not on the goddamn top-ranked telecast. But I said this nigga is fatigued mentally.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not just physical. He was mentally fatigued because he couldn't resort to a plan B because his body was beat the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? And when he was trying to resort to plan B, he was falling all over the place. Look at his balance, right? That's why he slipped 3 or 4 fucking times, right? Mm-hmm. He had no balance. He was coming in with the same shot, Bo. Straight left hand, straight right hand. And then the jab ended up being like a little bitch jab. Like it wasn't even a rangefinder. Right. It was just like he's programmed to throw that 1-2. And then the 1-2 even lost its straightness on it. It became an overhand that Shakur Stevenson could see was coming all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, nigga. He could see that shit. You know what I'm saying? He blocked this shit without even trying to block it. It was so fucking slow and telegraphed, bro.
Yeah.
But all of that sloppiness that you saw from Conceicao in the middle rounds all the way to the end of the fight, minus the 8th round, which I think Shakur was taking off, honestly. That's why Conceicao actually won the fight outside of winning foot placement. What you saw was Conceicao being broken down and not being able to resort to his plan B, which is to try to outbox Shakur. Once he realized when Shakur is moving forward, I should be able to get him while he's coming in. He couldn't do it, bro. And this was listen, I saw the chat, and some cats was saying Conceicao is a low-level fighter. I don't know where you're getting that from. You know what I'm saying? Conceicao, in my opinion, is undefeated before this fight. I believe he was robbed against Oscar Valdez. Right. I thought he won that fight. I don't know what Andre Ward was talking about. Andre Ward didn't think he won that fight even live. I remember after that fight, the majority of fans thought Conceicao won and shit. And I remember Andre Ward saying, maybe you should just leave this one up to the experts, fans. I think shut the fuck up. Just because you fought and you on a telecast doesn't make you an expert, right? Michael Jordan's one of the worst basketball scouts ever, but this nigga's he's the Hall of Fame GOAT, greatest basketball player of all time, but he can't spot talent if the shit hit him on the head. So just because you was a professional and then you got hired to be on a telecast doesn't make you a fucking expert. I'm sorry. When it comes to analysts. Now, he is a good analyst. But end of the day, he was wrong there. Robson Conceicao got fucking robbed, bro. He beat Oscar Valdez. All right? And he beat him because Oscar Valdez couldn't take away his boxing ability. But Shakur Stevenson did exactly that. With somewhat of a game plan, right? That you can say was an aggressive game plan.
Yeah.
He's on the front foot for the majority of the fight, and he's walking this man down, bro.
Yep.
What does that remind you of, Bo? Now, Conceicao is not the bigger man, in my opinion. He's the taller man, but he's not necessarily the bigger man. I think these guys are the same size. But what fighter who is a masterclass boxer from the outside got in a ring and walked his opponents down when that wasn't expected of him? Who else did that? A guy that is a retired fighter that a lot of people believe is the greatest of this era.
Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how you can say an Olympic gold medalist like Conceicao, a guy that actually gave Oscar Valdez his first loss, in my opinion, right? And even if you don't think he gave him his first loss, at the end of the day, you can say that he gave him a very tough fight. You can't disagree with that. And then come in here and say that he's a low-level fighter. Conceicao is a solid B to B+ level fighter. Shakur Stevenson's ability made him look like a C-level fighter.
Yep. And before I pass it off to you, Mike, let me say this, because the same person said Shakur needs to stop fighting these lesser fighters. Oscar Valdez is not a lesser fighter. I don't know where you get that one from either. So I don't get that one.
Jamel Herring, these are solid B-level fighters, bro.
Yes, they are.
And and it was the best that the division had to present at that time, right? Yep. You got Joe Cordina. What if he fought Joe Cordina? Would that be considered a lesser fighter? I would say yes. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, Joe Cordina is not better than Robson Conceicao, and he was the other champion in the division. So what the fuck?
And not to mention the fact Josh Warrington chickened out on fighting him after saying he would.
Josh Warrington's trash. You know what I'm saying? He's not better than Robson Conceicao. So at the end of the day, he fought arguably one of the top fighters in his division tonight, made him look like the nigga was a journeyman. So we made him look like. That's impressive.
Right. Mike, why do you think Shakur was so dominant tonight?
Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt rematch on a much smaller scale. That's what this fight was. Against a guy who came in with a reputation of being an elite boxer. Now, I know Conceicao is not the level of McGirt in terms of accomplishments, but both had reputations of being really, really good boxers, right? When Whitaker fought McGirt the second time, October 94, he began boxing, but slowly but surely began to walk and chop McGirt down to the point that McGirt was worn the you-know-what out at the end of the fight.
Man, don't be saying no
you know what?
Worn
the fuck out? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And same thing here. In the early rounds, Shakur took time to solve the puzzle. He found out what he could do. He found out he could step to him and then began to not only he used his skill to basically beat Conceicao up and applied a lot of body work. That's what we saw here. And that's the thing that separates, that's one of the things that makes Shakur special, right? I'm reading some of the comments in the chat that said, well, he's not the fastest this, he's not the fastest that. Whitaker wasn't either, right?
Right.
Accuracy, timing, ability to judge distance, jab, skill. I'm not saying that Shakur is completely like Whitaker, but he has Pernell Whitaker traits.
I think Pernell is different because Pernell changed levels with his defense. I
Right.
don't see Shakur doing that. Shakur fights more like how Floyd Mayweather fought later in his career. You know, Floyd was a little more upright and relied on his upper body movement to elude shots, right, or evade shots. Let me say that. Pernell Whitaker would rely on his waist, hips, and his lower body to evade shots more than he relied on his upper body. You know, so I really don't even see too much shades of Pernell Whitaker and Shakur Stevenson. I see Floyd Mayweather and Shakur Stevenson. I'm not saying, and cats always jump to the conclusion, oh man, you're saying Shakur Stevenson's the next Floyd Mayweather. No, I'm just saying that Shakur has taken Floyd Mayweather's style, right, and implores that more than he does, you know, somebody like a Pernell. But one thing you did say though, Mike, and I did see that comment. They were talking about Shakur Stevenson's speed. And that did run through my head while I was watching the fight. I was like, man, this nigga he's able to land his punches whenever he wants, and he's not even that fast, right? Like, he's not slow, but you sure wouldn't compare Shakur Stevenson and Meldrick Taylor, right?
Very good point.
You wouldn't compare Shakur Stevenson and Zab Judah, Shakur Stevenson and Gary Russell Jr., right? Those
Camacho
guys
was faster than Whitaker.
Huh?
Camacho was faster than Whitaker.
Right. I'm talking about Meldrick Taylor, Gary Russell Jr., right? You wouldn't compare him to those. Like, I'm not even talking about Whitaker. The fastest hands in boxing, Zab Judah, he's not any of those guys. He's not even comparable in terms of hand speed to any of those guys, right?
Right.
But this motherfucker has, and you hit the nail on the head, he has the kind of accuracy and punch placement ability and ring IQ. And this is a term guys never heard of. He has the punching IQ, meaning this nigga says, I want my punch to land right on that spot right now, and puts it there. When it's somebody like that, that motherfucker's hard to beat. Doesn't matter who's in the ring with him, because he can do whatever he wants, and he doesn't even have the speed nor the power, right, to pull it off. But he gets it there, and it hurts people. That's a serious fucking problem. On top of the fact that this nigga's defensively skilled, that's a serious problem, bro, for anybody.
I think the number one thing that when you're looking at what you saw about his ability to get there before his opponent, like his punch to get it before his opponent, is Shakur Stevenson, when he's ready to hit you, he's make sure he's in the right position so he can hit you with whatever punch he wants to hit you with. Then his timing, like you said, speed. He's not like an overly fast person, but he has very good fucking timing, just like Floyd. Remember Floyd would no matter whatever happened, when you threw that punch and Floyd did that, you knew that his timing was like, you knew like, oh shit, I'm about to get hit with this fucking punch.
Them niggas knew. They saw the motherfucker coming, bro. They couldn't get out the way.
No. It's like when you saw me that, you'd be like, oh shit, I fucked up now. Right? And that was all because of his timing, right? So when you got a guy like Shakur Stevenson, okay, like you said, he has punch placement IQ. He knows when you throw a punch, you're open right here. When you do this, you're open right here. He knows that. On top of the fact he knows how to judge his distance, and he has good timing along with the accuracy. Oh yeah, that's a hard motherfucker to deal with. Then you got to throw in the attitude. He fully believes I can fuck you up. I don't care who you are, you're getting your ass whooped. He fully believes that. You're not going to discourage him. You're not going to break him down mentally, because Conceicao had some success. Conceicao did land a couple shots to the body. Conceicao did land a couple overhand, a couple of straight right hands. But you're not going to do that too many times on Shakur, because he fouls that right away. So when you got a guy like that, that's a hard dude to beat, and then you throw in that mentality. No, that's going to be a problem for anybody out there. So when people talk like, oh, well, this dude wasn't this or this dude wasn't that, understand guys look a certain way. When you are considered A to elite level, guys below that are gonna look they're not gonna look like a B-level fighter when you fight. No fighter looking like a B-level. If you was a B-level fighter, you didn't look like B-level when you fought Floyd.
Plus, I see a little bit of mean streak in him as well.
Say it again, Mike. I'm sorry.
I see a little bit of a mean streak developing in him as well.
No, he's always had that, Mike.
Yeah, he's always had that. I mean, if you're walking fighters down, right, that mean streak is there. The dog is in you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's always had that ability. I never questioned Shakur Stevenson's ability to walk fighters down, right? I always questioned Shakur Stevenson's ability. You know, this is early in his career, obviously way before Jamel Herring, and I'm talking way before Yoet Gonzalez, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, I questioned Shakur Stevenson's ability to dominate from the outside, and that was based on what Robeisy Ramirez was able to do to him in the Olympics, right?
Exactly.
Robeisy Ramirez had the nigga on his back foot, and he didn't know how to tame the pressure of Robeisy Ramirez. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I figured, shit, he goes pro, he might have trouble with pressure fighters. And I believe it was Yoet Gonzalez, that fight, that told me, okay, nah, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's a beast from the outside, you know, or he has the skill to be a beast. And then Oscar Valdez, that really Yoet Gonzalez and Jamel Herring told me, because he outboxed the shit out of Jamel Herring and walked him down on top. He did both in the same fight. That told me that he was going to dominate Oscar Valdez, which is exactly what he did. I mean, man, he has the tools. Bo, I'm not sure. I told you guys in the last show, if he dominates Robson Conceicao, I'm not sure who beats this motherfucker, but I do got an answer for that.
All right. Well, that takes us into our next conversation, right? So, of course, we know Shakur Stevenson came in 1.6 or 1.5 pounds overweight. And give props to Robinson Conceicao, because he would have got his payday regardless. He didn't have to take the fight. He'd be like, oh, no, motherfucker, you overweight. I'm going to fight a lesser motherfucker. So give him props for even being like, no, man. Whether he's a champ or not, I want to fight him because he's the top dude in the division. So I give him props for that. But Shakur came in overweight, so he stripped of the title. He's always made it clear he's going 135 pounds. Now, I do want to make this point, which, I actually thought this, but, again, didn't get a chance to say it. By him being stripped of the titles, just because he goes to 135, he's not going to automatically be placed in a position to fight for a title. But his invasion of 135 makes 135 pound very interesting when you look at, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko. What does this mean for the 135 pound division? Because I know for me, anybody that saw that fight, they're telling their promoter manager, hey, if Top Rank calls, don't answer the phone right now.
Well, Devin Haney ain't saying that.
Oh, no, hell no. Hell no.
A motherfucker like Ryan Garcia would say that. Ryan ain't even got to say that. Oscars say the shit for him. You saw that fight, Ryan? Yeah, we not. we're not doing that.
Oh, man.
Like we talked about, bro. Don't even worry about it, man. You ain't got to worry about that cat. We ain't even gonna deal with that shit, bro. Same thing with Tia Female. Nah, man, we're going to 140. You know what I'm saying? We're going to 140.
This was the right move after all. This was the right move.
Yeah, we're going to stay at 140. You know what I'm saying? We're not even going to deal with 130. Devin Haney has been, let me tell you something, because those two had that sparring session, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where there's been a equal number of people saying that either man won, right? That's sparring session.
Yeah.
And remember, those two were going back and forth early in both of their careers. They're both prospects at that time. Since then, they really haven't talked too much shit about each other. I know Devin was asked a question fairly recently about Shakur Stevenson. He was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, come to my division, is what it is, right? Yeah. And then, of course, tonight, you saw that Devin Haney was like, Shakur Stevenson was like, yeah, we got to fight the champ. Well, there's only one champ at 135. And then he said, Haney, all the guys can get it. Haney can get it, and I'll fight Lomachenko, right? But that's really been, since they've been prospects, that's really where the shit talking between those two has subsided too, right? But it's known that Devin Haney has no fucking problem fighting Shakur Stevenson and vice versa.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So to be quite honest with you, dog, like I don't see Tank Davis talking about going to 140 before. You know what I'm saying? He's fought at 140 already, right? But it's just ironic that it was reiterated that he would go to 140 as Shakur Stevenson made the official announcement that he would go to 135. I'm just saying, bro, the shit's ironic, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to start no bullshit. 2K don't start no bullshit, dog.
Shit,
I'm just saying it's just motherfucking ironic that the nigga said he going to 140 after Shakur officially was like, all right, I can't make weight, dog. I got to go to 135. And it's really in Tank's best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Tank is one of the most overrated top-level fighters in boxing. He can hit hard. He's got good timing on his counters. But boy, does that motherfucker, is he susceptible to cats that can just remotely box from the outside. Leo Santa Cruz was beating him before he was knocked the fuck out. Right? Rolly Romero, in my opinion, was up by a round before he was knocked the fuck out. Right?
Right.
He's susceptible to guys that have remote boxing ability. And what people, they catch amnesia from that, right? Because they see Tank land a big shot and concuss niggas.
Right.
But you got to understand, and this is one thing about Stevenson I forgot to mention. Stevenson has that same toughness that I remember seeing Floyd Mayweather and Sugar Shane Mosley have.
Yeah.
You can hit these motherfuckers hard, bro. And it'll hit these niggas, but it wouldn't phase them. Right? Now, I've seen Floyd hurt a handful of times in his career. Right? Marcos Maidana, Shane Mosley, right? I've seen him hurt a handful of times in his career. And Shakur Stevenson will get hurt in his career. It's going to happen, right? But my point is, you can even look at these punches that Conceicao was landing. And I'm not saying Conceicao has the same kind of power as Tank. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the punches that were landing on Shakur as he was coming in were flush. And the nigga didn't even bat an eyelash, bro. So one thing that was underrated about Floyd Mayweather was his chin. Nobody ever talked about Floyd Mayweather's fucking chin, man. Right. I used to tell cats, yeah, the nigga's he's one of the best defensive fighters of all time. He's one of the best at putting his punches together and timing and all of that, accuracy. But his chin is probably the most underrated thing about Floyd Mayweather. And I guarantee you that's going to be the same thing about Shakur. They're not going to rate his chin, but I can see it already now. So if we're talking about Tank Davis, I don't see Shakur Stevenson being concussed like Leo Santa Cruz, getting knocked out with a smile on his face and shit. I don't see that happening to fucking Shakur. I see him there's a possibility he gets hurt. Mm-hmm. But then again, you got to remember, if you don't knock a guy like Shakur Stevenson out, guess what you have to deal with? Him being to make adjustments to what you just did in real fucking time, bro. That's why it is smart for Tank to go to 140. He loses to Shakur, bro.
Man, Mike. Hey, Mike, what do you think Shakur Stevenson going to 135 mean?
He's going to face the winner of Haney Lomachenko in 2023. That's what I think. I don't think Haney's going to beat Kambosos again.
Okay.
Right? Lomachenko's coming back. He's going to get an easy win, and then he's going to get a win he's going to fight Haney in 2023. Summer, fall 2023. Shakur's going to face the winner. Forget they're even talking about Tank. As long as Floyd and Sir Nose are more worried about the dollars, right? Instead of proving that his fighter that fighter is worth something, they're not gonna. There's no way they'll put him in the ring with Shakur. No way.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sir knows. But here's the thing, though, because you say he's going to fight the winner of Dev and Lomachenko. The thing about that is, and I'm not quite sure about that, because that could take up a very large part of 2023, because they're going to have a rematch clause. And they'll probably have a rematch clause probably on both sides, to where even if Loma lose, he gets a chance to get a rematch. I can see Bob Arum doing something like that, especially given the fact that then you also have to look at how Devin Haney has sort of hinted that the Loma fight might not happen because he's struggling to make this weight at 135. So if that fight don't happen, like immediately, like if that fight don't, I just don't see that fight happening at 135. I could see it maybe at 140, but I don't see Dev sticking around after Lomachenko or even after George Kambosos for Shakur Stevenson.
If that shit happens, that is gonna be a fucking travesty, nigga. Because the fight that everybody listen, as soon as Shakur Stevenson said, hold on, Mike. As soon as Shakur Stevenson said that he's going up to 135, the fight everybody was immediately looking at was fucking Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Right. I believe that Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko was second.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately everyone's like, oh shit, he going to 135. Oh shit, Devin Haney, man, y'all remember the sparring session? Man, them niggas gonna fight in the pros now. If he don't stick around for at least 2 more fights to get Stevenson in the ring, that's gonna be a travesty, bro. And you know what's gonna happen? And you might be right. I think you're right. He is having trouble making weight at 135 right now. Even though that's the situation, it's gonna go against him, and all the respect that he's trying to get from people, being the undisputed champion, beating Cam Booty right after he took the belts from fucking Teofimo Lopez or Teofimo, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the respect that he's trying to maintain, he fucking loses it, even though it's not his fault. He's just he's getting older, he's getting bigger, but fans don't give a fuck about that. They're going to see that he leaves 135 as Shakur Stevenson gets acclimated at 135. And guess what they're going to do? Take away all the respect that he gained from beating Cam Booty twice, bro.
I agree.
And cares about money just as much as anybody else. Let's just say that Haney and Loma fights and Haney wins. He'll throw Lomachenko under the bus just like that. And wouldn't worry about it, especially if the fans are clamoring for a fight between Haney and Shakur, and there's a lot of money on it.
Yeah,
he'll put Loma to the wayside.
Yeah, but but here's the thing, though, Mike, and this is what I'm saying. Like the fight, and I'm with you as far as the fight everybody should be talking about is him versus Devin Haney. Hell, we've asked fighters that, like, we were the first one to even introduce that topic when we were asking fighters about that shit, right? Go back and read any 3 Keith Boxing article. Even watch this show we've been on. We've always been talking about that fight right there. Because I remember I said fantasy matchup, and 2K was like, that ain't no goddamn fantasy. That shit could really happen. But if you listen to what they was even saying tonight, the commentators, they were saying, well, the fight Shakur really wants is Lomachenko. That tells me they're already trying to push him that way. They're already trying to push him that way towards Lomachenko. Because remember, Bob a long time ago said the best fight in boxing is Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko, not Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. So I could definitely see after this George Kambosos fight that Devin Haney could probably be like, hey, man, I know I'm supposed to fight Lomachenko, y'all, but I can't do this no more. He's going to go to 140. Now, the only thing that could save it is if they say, hey, how about we do a catchweight at 138 or some shit like that. That's the only way you can save that.
My man, Sweet Pea Fan 12, man, put in the chat, what fight are you talking about, man?
He's talking about the rematch between McGirt and Whitaker, and he wrong.
Y'all talking about that shit?
Yeah.
He wrong.
I thought y'all talking about tonight's fight. Wait, hold on.
No, he's wrong. He's wrong. He's talking to a dude who's old enough who got that fight on VHS. He wrong.
I know you even watching that fight, nigga. Wait a minute. How are you watching that fight?
Yeah.
You can't even watch can't even find a VHS.
Oh, I got it, bro.
I'm old enough where I got that fight on VHS, October 1994. He wrong. Yeah. Let's move on.
I got a VCR. Nigga, come 2K house at your VHS tapes. We want to watch all the old fights, man.
I still got when you saw the bag, that big ass bag in the closet with the VHS tapes in it. You saw that bag I got. All right, man. So okay. So the invasion that he's gonna make, I'm just gonna say this: 135 got lit the minute he said, "Hey, I'm going to 135." It got lit because all the matchups everybody's talking about. But the fight, I truly believe we need to see him have, and I this is where I agree with you at. Devin Haney could go to 140 and become undisputed 140. It's that cloud of not fighting Stevenson is always gonna hang over his fucking head. It's gonna be there regardless. That's a fight he needs. But I am gonna say this though. It is awfully ironic since we talking conspiracy. It's awfully ironic that the minute Shakur Stevenson said, "Well, fuck it, y'all, I can't make where I'm going to 135." Emmanuel Navarrete, well, you know what? Fuck it, I think I'll just go to 130. I think I'll just go to 130. Fuck.
I'm feeling a little bit big right now. I'm gonna hit that 130, dog. Yeah. That feels good right about now.
and nigga said, "Well, I don't have to cut back on the tacos after all." Fuck you.
Shakur's going back in 130. Well, 126. I thought I felt big, but not really. These boys, listen, man. These boys think they're pulling the wool over our eyes. Man. Fuck out of here. I always tell cats, man. I don't think as a former fighter myself, same as Bo, right? We understand that fighters are not necessarily scared of other fighters, but they're scared of the risk. And I say this shit all the time. Boxing's a business, and you've seen both ways happen. Fighters may lose early and end up becoming a very marketable commodity in the sport where they make a lot of money. They make the promoters a lot of money and the networks. But then you've also seen guys take L's and then they don't become fucking marketable, right? So it's almost a 50-50 thing. You can lose early and become marketable, or you can lose early and not become marketable. Fighters are not trying to take that risk, especially when their name, right, has already been synonymous with the sport of boxing as one of the best fighters in the world. They want to keep their image.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So fighters, Oscar Valdez going to 130 when Shakur was his fucking mandatory, that was by design.
And then fight for the WBC belt too.
Fight for the WBC belt, right? Because he had the WBO at 126. That was by fucking design, man. Valdez did not want to get his ass whipped by Shakur, but he got fucking cornered, right? Leo Santa Cruz not fighting Guillermo Rigondeaux. Carl Frampton not fighting Guillermo Rigondeaux. I can't remember the other guy's name. What's the other guy that Carl Frampton beat? No, the guy that Carl Frampton beat. Scott Quigg. Scott Quigg not wanting to fight him, right? Ray Vargas not wanting. None of them niggas wanted to fight him, bro. That was all by design. They weren't scared of him physically. They were scared of the risk. Ray Vargas is still over there scared of the fucking risk. Why didn't he fight Gary Russell? But as soon as Mark Magsayo got the belt, that nigga jumped out of nowhere.
My shoulder feels much better now.
Exactly.
Ooh, I can move it now. Wow.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So that shit happens in this sport all the time. And I tell cats, man, Keith Thurman not wanting to fight Errol Spence, I understand it. Errol Spence was a nigga on the come up. He wasn't about to risk his 2 belts for that motherfucker on the come up. Just like what Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are doing to Boots Ennis right now. He a nigga on the come up. Them 2 motherfuckers not risking their belts for a nigga on the come up.
For real.
Same shit.
No, that's for real. That's serious shit right there. I do want to throw something out there. Don't kill me for this one, y'all. But how would y'all feel if Kid Galahad wins? How y'all feel about Kid Galahad and Shakur Stevenson? All right, man.
Stop it.
I'd rather we talk about the damn Joe George Joseph Parker fight if we're gonna go there. Shit, talk about motherfucking who is it? Terry Harper and Hannah Rankin.
Oh wow! Really, dog? Damn!
Kid Galahad ain't no fucking champ no more. He got his ass whooped by the Spaniard. That's his fault.
Spaniard at that. An old
right, an old ass Spaniard that had already got his ass whooped by everybody else. At least Hannah Rankin's a fucking champ.
All right, man. All right, man. So we didn't talk about Shakur going to 135. We didn't talk about why he was dominant. So here raised the ultimate big question: who can beat Shakur Stevenson? When you look at the divisions from 126 to 135, who can beat this dude? Because right now he looks unbeatable. So, Prodigy, who do you think beat Shakur Stevenson?
Man, look, the fight that's more than likely going to happen, bro. It's not that I think he beats him. I think he presents, and this is going to be controversial.
Okay.
I think he presents a slightly better challenge, and that's Vasyl Lomachenko. I think he presents a slightly better challenge than Devin Haney. And you said something before this show, right? I'm gonna throw it out there because I need it. I need that to prove my point. You said, man, the way Shakur Stevenson fought tonight, he beats Lomachenko, dog. Right?
Yeah.
You said that before the show.
Sure did.
I'm on the fence on that because the way Shakur Stevenson looked excellent, but the way he fought tonight is not how you fight Lomachenko.
Exactly.
You don't walk Lomachenko down. This nigga will angle the fuck out your ass, nigga. This nigga will be like Spider-Man on a motherfucking wall on your ass, nigga, if you walking him down, man. You walk him down, this nigga end up behind you and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to box Lomachenko. How did Teofimo Lopez win them first 6 rounds? He moved with Lomachenko from mid-range distance and on the outside and fucking boxed him. That's how he won the first 6. You see what I'm saying? And then that power of Teofimo Lopez was also making Lomachenko weary, right?
Agreed.
How did Gary Russell Jr. lose? That was a majority decision, but it should have been a fucking wide UD, right? But how did Gary Russell lose to Lomachenko? Because he was trying to walk him down and he was in the pocket, thinking that his hand speed was going to nullify Lomachenko's footwork. Man, Lomachenko made that nigga look like an amateur, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shakur Stevenson trying to walk Vasyl Lomachenko down, that's an L, B. Shakur Stevenson needs to fight Lomachenko how he fought Oscar Valdez. That's what he needs to do. He does that, that fight is close as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even an 8-4 Shakur Stevenson. But depending how Shakur Stevenson approaches the Vasyl Lomachenko fight, that footwork alone and Lomachenko's volume, that presents a heavy problem for Shakur Stevenson. And that's why Lomachenko, to me, is slightly the overall the more of a problem for Shakur Stevenson's style than Devin Haney. If it comes to Devin Haney, that's a chess match. Devin Haney's gonna make him box him. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Devin Haney ain't walking nobody down. I haven't seen that yet. I mean, if y'all seen it, let me know. I haven't seen Devin Haney really walk niggas down. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney's more he's at mid-range distance, and then he might come on the inside, and then he'll turn you and then get back out at mid-range distance to land one of his shots. He's not really walking cats down. See what I'm saying? So a Devin Haney Shakur Stevenson fight, that's a boxing chess match that I think Shakur Stevenson can win, because I think Shakur is the smarter boxer than Devin Haney, right? He's a more versatile boxer than Devin Haney. But Lomachenko's footwork alone, bro, that is, I keep telling y'all, man, the Teofimo Lopez fight, Vasyl Lomachenko fucked that up in the first 6. He did.
Yeah, he
fucked
did.
that up.
He did.
He should not have been too wary. And a lot of people say, well, you know, it was the shoulder surgery. That could be it. I don't know. I'm not giving the nigga no fucking excuses, though. He should not have waited until round 7 to decide that he's going to get on the inside, or let me say get underneath Teofimo Lopez. He should have did that from the start, and he would have won that fight. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Lomachenko makes that mistake again, especially against Shakur Stevenson, who doesn't hold the same power in his punches that a Teofimo Lopez does. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not to be weary of any shots, maybe some counters, but at the end of the day, Vasyl Lomachenko is one of the best at rolling off counters because of his footwork. Hell, this nigga rolls off counters and really probably doesn't even fucking realize it because he's moving around so much. That footwork alone, coupled with that volume that Vasyl Lomachenko has, that man right there has a possibility to beat Shakur Stevenson.
And you know what? I'm going to say something to your point. There was something that Shakur Stevenson said that they repeated. Shakur said beating Lomachenko, not Haney, He said, beating Lomachenko is what will make me a superstar in this sport. So he feels the same way you feel, that that fight right there would be more difficult for him than perhaps maybe the Devin Haney fight. Who do you think can beat stop Shakur Stevenson, Mike?
I tend to agree that it's Loma. As time has gone along, that fight between Lomachenko and Teofimo, that was just a one-off. That was a one-off. Loma I didn't understand the strategy over the first half of that bout, and plus Teofimo, he fought over his head. He didn't fight that well before, and he hasn't fought as well since. It's the footwork. Lomachenko is quick twitch muscles, like an explosive athlete in another sport. He's quick twitch. His boxing brain, his boxing creativity, his ability to bounce not just straight in and out, but he comes in at such an angle that people can't see, and then gets out before you can adjust, and then come back with you from a completely different angle. He never throws the same combinations twice in a row. Couldn't Shakur beat him? Yes. But the puzzle that he's going to have to solve to beat a Lomachenko, who's, if he's on his A game, it's going to be very, very difficult. Boxing chess match 1-on-1. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. As much as negative as I talked about Lomachenko and him and kind of Aaron dismissing him, I'm not going to count him out. If he's at his best, if he's at his A game, he can beat anybody in that division. Haney, Shakur included.
That's the fight I want to see, fellas. Like, no disrespect to the undisputed king at 135, and I do want to see Lomachenko versus Devin Haney as well. But I'm more intrigued in seeing Shakur Stevenson versus Vasyl Lomachenko. I've always wanted to see that fight more than Devin Haney fight Lomachenko. They're literally the same size. Hell, I think Stevenson is a bit bigger than Lomachenko, honestly. Lomachenko is a very small 135.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I think Stevenson's a bit bigger than him. Man, that's the fight to see right there. Just like at 122, right? Noya Inoue going up from 118 and fighting Stephen Fulton. Same situation here. Shakur going up to 135. The Lomachenko's fight is the one I want to see.
Well, here's the thing about the Lomachenko fight that I like, right? I believe, and we know the ring IQ of Devin Haney. The thing about the Lomachenko fight that make it very interesting with Shakur Stevenson is Lomachenko, in my honest opinion, will make Shakur think more than Devin Haney will. And what I mean by that is, like you all just mentioned, the twitch muscle, the feints, the faking, the positioning of that, the foot placement and the positioning. Both of these guys are southpaws, but both of these guys are very good at positioning and judging distance. Those things that it's those little intangible things that Lomachenko do that will make Shakur think more than versus a Devin Haney. Devin Haney's not gonna do, the little twitches or the little feints and stuff. He's not gonna do that. Now, what Devin Haney will try to do is he'll try to control the fight with his jab, right? But the athleticism of Lomachenko is actually better, in my opinion, than Devin Haney. That also can give Shakur Stevenson some problems. So that fight to me is interesting because that's a fight where Shakur Stevenson is going to have to think. And that's where you'll see just how good he really is in a fight like that. Devin Haney, it's a good fight from the aspect of, okay, these are two young guys in their prime that, we want to see them go at it. And I definitely think I would give Shakur Stevenson the slight advantage only because Devin Haney, the power of Devin Haney wouldn't be enough to deter Shakur Stevenson at all, period. But there are things Lomachenko can do that can mentally deter you, and Shakur Stevenson is mentally tough enough to handle that. So I'm more interested in seeing that fight. I still sort of stand by my. I think Shakur Stevenson can win that fight. I think he has a very good chance of winning that fight. But if Shakur Stevenson can get a hold of Vasyl Lomachenko, and he does beat Vasyl Lomachenko, I don't think there's anybody really that can stop him from that point. Hell, he could probably look at 140, and I don't really think there's anybody that can stop him from that point on, man, at all.
Stevenson definitely has the ability to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. My thing was him fighting the way he fought Conceicao. Absolutely not. He can't walk Lomachenko down, bro. That would be a stupid game plan. Walk him down at moments. You know what I'm saying? After you've established superior boxing ability from the outside.
Exactly.
But you can't walk him down for the whole fight. That'd be stupid as fuck. That's suicide, man.
Exactly.
You can't even walk Devin Haney down. That's suicide. You see what I'm saying?
That's a very good point. Yeah.
So that walking down shit is dead. When it comes to Haney and Lomachenko, he has to box both of these dudes, man.
That's a very good point. Go ahead, Mike.
Here's the thing for me. If Haney and Stevenson fought, for me, it would be a matter of who controlled the center of the ring and who controlled the jab. If Stevenson can make Haney come forward behind and use his jab and make Haney come forward, he can win, and he can win that rather easily, because Haney is not a guy who walks guys down.
Right.
Stevenson could have Lomachenko come forward to come to him, and Lomachenko could still beat him. That's the difference.
Yep. Agreed.
Actually, we saw that happening when Devin Haney was fighting Jorge Linares. Linares made him come forward, and that's when he caught him at the end of that 10th round with that punch, because he made the motherfucker come forward. And boom, he caught that.
Good point. I mean, Devin's an excellent fighter. I mean, he's a top-notch fighter. I got him on the pound-for-pound list because he's undisputed. You know, but when we're talking IQ for IQ, you know, we're comparing tool bags or, you know, toolboxes to toolboxes. Shakur Stevenson has the upper hand. You see what I'm saying? Devin Haney's not as defensively slick. Devin Haney he's not as accurate. He is accurate as fuck. Understand? Watch that goddamn Camboody fight. He's accurate, but he's not as accurate as Shakur. Shakur can just literally, his punches are like homing missiles, man. You know what I'm saying? Puts him wherever he wants him to go. You know what I'm saying? So he's not as accurate. I don't think he puts punches together as fluidly as Shakur Stevenson. I don't think he reads his opponent as well as Shakur Stevenson does, right? Watch how Shakur is reading Conceicao. Go back and watch this fight. Every time that overhand right came, what did he counter him with? He slipped it. What did he come back with? Exactly, bro. Every single time.
Either up top or to the body. He was switching it up.
He's switching up. Not saying Haney wouldn't have been able to do the same thing, but Shakur Stevenson was more fluid with it, right? You see what I'm saying? Very good fight. I mean, that's a fight I really want to see is Haney and fucking and Shakur Stevenson. Don't you know what I'm saying? Don't think that that's not something I want to see. I definitely want to see that. Let's say Lomachenko, you know, decides that he got to go fight for somebody else now. You know, it ain't Ukraine no more. Japan got a war. He got to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Then make Haney and Shakur Stevenson then. Shit, I want to see that too. That's a high-level chess match. And I'm always good for high-level chess matches. But all I'm saying is when you compare on paper, when you compare toolboxes to toolboxes, and ring IQ to ring IQ, Shakur Stevenson has the upper hand there.
Right. I want to go back to something somebody wrote in the one of the guys wrote a statement, right? Somebody put in there, beating Valdez and Conceicao shouldn't get you on the pound for pound list. Now here at Three Kings Box, we don't do a pound for pound list. We do a top 10 fighters list. Here's the thing about that. I totally disagree with that statement, because he was an undefeated 2-division champion that he beat in Oscar Valdez, and he beat a top-level fighter in Robson Conceicao, right? But what is this notion that when people have of not knowing the quality of the opponent that you're fighting to where they want to discredit where you should be on any list at all as far as a top fighter? That I don't understand or get at all, period.
Well, let me say something. I don't disagree with the statement. We don't have him on our top 10 list. You know what I'm saying? Over who? You got Alexander Usyk. You got Terrence Crawford. You got Naoya Inoue, right? You got Errol Spence. You got Josh Taylor. You got Canelo, right? Now, out of those 6, right, we're talking about 4 undisputed champions. You know what I'm saying? You got Jermell Charlo, also undisputed. That's 5 out of 7. Devin Haney, also undisputed. That's 6 out of 8 motherfuckers, dog, that are undisputed or former undisputed champions, bro. Right? You could arguably put him in there at 9 or 10 because we got Artur Beterbiev and then Dmitry Bivol. But you can't, I don't think you put Shakur Stevenson over Dimitri Bivol because he literally knocked Canelo Alvarez off his perch. He was the number one, top 10 fighter in the game. And he knocked him off his perch. So you got to credit him by getting him on there. Artur Beterbiev is the lineal champion, reigning lineal champion at 175. Now, if Shakur Stevenson would have had multiple title defenses at 130, then you could arguably put him over Artur Beterbiev. But he got stripped of his titles and then is going to move another division. So he can't go over Artur Beterbiev with just Conceicao and Oscar Valdez. He can't. So I don't disagree with the statement given who we have on our top 10 list. Now, if people don't value, Artur Beterbiev, ESPN obviously doesn't value Devin Haney for some stupid ass fucking reason, right? You don't value Beterbiev, Bivol, Devin Haney, or, you don't value Josh Taylor because you really think he lost to Jack Catterall. Then yeah, maybe I could see him getting squeezed in at the bottom, but I would disagree with that list. I don't think Shakur is on this list, bro. He's probably like number 11 or 12.
Okay. Mike, what's your thoughts?
Shakur has elite talent, but the accomplishments are not there, not yet. As of right now, what is it? September 24th, 2022? No.
All right, man. That's a fire list. Oh, you talking about the top 10 fighters list?
Oh, we know boxing, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it's 6 undisputed champions, and one of those 6 is a former, or 2 of them, Josh Taylor and Alexander Usyk, and 3 of them, and Terrence Crawford. You got to give them credit, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Them niggas take up 6 spots already. So you got 4 left. You got 4 spots left. Shakur don't take one of those 4, man.
Right.
Yeah, Shakur is an honorable mention. He's not yet made the list. Not quite yet.
Agreed.
And yeah, we're counting Hanoi as undisputed. That's a win.
Well, if you say that, then there's only 3 spots left. If you say that, then there's only 3 fucking spots left, man.
No, I mean, that's a win. Like, I mean, are we really gonna sit here and pretend like this dude got a chance? I mean, honestly.
Yep.
All right, then. If there's anybody that want to bet on Butler, call me.
Hey, for real, yeah, UK fans out there, if y'all got y'all money on Paul Butler, man, please
call me.
If Butler wins that fight, just make it automatic. Up 3 Kings boxing's upset of the year.
Upset of the year.
Upset of the century.
Decade, nigga.
Yeah, no shit.
2020 to 2030. Fuck it. It's already picked. That shit's nigga, ain't no fight gonna be more of an upset than Paul Butler beating Hoya in a while.
Motherfucker totally forget about Tyson and Buster Douglas. Nope.
Speaking of Paul Butler, punk ass, man, listen. See, what Robson Conceicao did tonight is a real fighter, right?
Good point.
And,
I know where you're going.
Yeah. I had a cat, a cat from a cat that I work with and shit. He watches boxing. He was hitting me up. He was asking about Tank and Shakur and Shakur on Tank's level and all that. And yeah, he told me, he said, man, that dude that Stevenson fought, man, that dude is brave, man, because shit, I would have just took my money and dipped after he missed weight. I said, yeah, most people would have, but he's a real fighter. He's got the fighter's mentality, right? Something I'm always talking about on this show, the fighter's mentality. Right. Paul Butler don't have that. Because if Robson Conceicao had the mentality of a fucking Paul Butler, Conceicao would have been like, oh, he missed weight? Oh, man, strip that nigga. Hey, WBO. He would have wrote a formal letter like Paul Butler did, or he fucking talked to him over the phone, whatever. But this nigga requested that the WBO give him the belt because they stripped John Riel Casimiro, right? Robson Conceicao, if he had the Paul Butler state of mind, he would have did the same thing. Appealed to the WBO. Oh, he missed weight. Just give me the belt. But instead, since he's got the fighter's mentality, he got in the ring anyway and
Sure
didn't
did.
even need to fight him.
Sure did.
Man, fuck Paul, but I hope Naoya Inoue sleeps this nigga in round 1, dog. I can't stand Paul Butler. That motherfucker's a pussy. And UK dudes, dog, y'all can say what y'all want about that, dog. That dude, a lot of niggas talking about Devin Haney's the email champion, all that shit. Paul Butler is the epitome of a fucking email champion. 100% vagina, nigga.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, also keep this in mind. Conceicao, like I mentioned earlier, he already got paid. Shakur had to pay a penalty, so he already would have got his pay.
Yep.
He would have got his pay regardless whether he fought or not. He was paid. He still went for it with the motherfucking fight. So, and understand, he could have been like, nope, I ain't fighting. Get the replacement nigga in here, and now that the belts are vacant, I'm going to fight one of these weaker motherfuckers for this fucking title. That's what he's going to fucking do.
He could have easily, man, he could have fought Xavier Martinez again or some shit.
Yeah.
He could have fought anybody that was way less of a quality fighter than Shakur Stevenson for both of them titles, not just one.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But he didn't have a Paul Butler mindset. He had the Robson Conceicao / fighter's mentality mindset. And said,
Exactly.
fuck it, I still fight this nigga.
Exactly. So anybody want to bet on Paul Butler? I'm taking retirement money. I'm betting.
Man, look. Whether it was Narvaez to win the junior bantamweight title, whether it was McDowell to win the bantamweight title, whether it was Rodriguez, former IBF champion, whether it was Inoue, any guy who is of substance that Inoue has fought, he's took him out in the first 3 rounds. It's going to happen the same thing with this fight.
I hope so, bro.
I hope so too.
This is the most undeserved, undisputed bout, and I'm not talking about in Inoue's from Inoue's perspective. He deserves to be in an undisputed bout.
That's right.
But Paul Butler does not deserve to be in an undisputed bout. Not at all. He what should have happened was he should have had to, after he won his his fight for the belt. Well, he already had the fucking belt, but once he won that fight, they should have ordered Jean-Rio Casimiro at that point. That's what should have happened. And it didn't happen. Matter of fact, Paul Butler petitioned that it didn't happen.
Yeah, he did.
I can't stand this dude, bro.
Yeah, he did.
This nigga's a walking coochie out here, nigga.
God.
Whip the fucking STDs.
Oh, God damn. Hold on. Wait a minute. Time out.
Fuck Paul Butler, man. I hope he hears this shit, too. I'll smack out of his little ass, man. Nigga's a walking STD with the walking coochie with the STDs, bro. I ain't never seen this. I don't know, man. Mike, you got vast boxing knowledge. I've never seen anything like this happen. A nigga is supposed to fight the champ. The champ gets stripped. He fucking he petitions the sanctioning body to gift him the belt, goes on and fights a much lesser contender, and in his very next fight is fighting for the undisputed crown. I've never seen these situation of events take place the way they have for Paul Butler in all my years of covering boxing. Have you seen that, Mike?
Not since Tony Tucker beat Buster Douglas and then fought for Mike Tyson for, I think it was Undisputed.
But look,
not Undisputed, but fought a unification bout.
But look who he had to beat, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know? At least Buster Douglas was a top contender. He wasn't seen as one of the better fighters, but he was a top contender. This nigga that he fought, I don't even remember the dude's name. And then I don't remember Tony Tucker petitioning that somebody lose the belt, or when somebody gets stripped of the belt, and then him get gifted for it. I don't remember that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Then on top of that, when they asked Butler, well, would you consider fighting Kissimmee? He said, fuck him. Fuck him. He said, fuck him.
Like, he don't even want to fight the dude. He would have lost, man.
Man, you got Paul Butler here acting like out here like a Zeta female, dog. That's fucked.
Man, look. Yeah, man, he is, bro. He 100% beta man out here in the streets, man.
Yeah.
Once Inoue knocks some smooth clean out,
Oh, he's
I don't
done.
hear shit from Paul Butler again, man.
Nah, you won't hear shit from him again.
Yeah, you won't.
You won't hear shit from him again. All right, man. Hey, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank my man's here for coming in and doing this. Like we telling y'all, man. Three Kings Boxing, unbiased, unfiltered. We give it to you. Your favorite fighter out here fucking up. Y'all see what happened. So tell your favorite fighter to be on their P's and Q's, man. All right, Prodigy, man, take us out.
Nothing to do, man. Go to 3kingsboxing.com for your source of pure and adulterated boxing information. Hit us up on Twitter at 3kingsboxing, Instagram at 3kingsboxing, Facebook.com/3kingsboxing. Also, go to this YouTube channel, Prodigy of Boxing Talk. Hit that subscribe button, also with that notification bell. Also, go to the 3 Kings Boxing YouTube channel and subscribe to that YouTube channel as well, and hit the notification bell there as well. Definitely want to appreciate my man, senior writer Michael Wilson Jr. for jumping on and chopping it up with us, man. Go ahead and be on the lookout for his articles on 3kingsboxing.com, as well as my man Bo. His name is Garrison on 3kingsboxing.com.
That's messed up, man.
Hey, your name is on the website, dog. Hey, what the fuck? Your name is on the website. How they gonna know it's your article, nigga? How they gonna know? They got it. There's no other way. I gotta tell them, dog. They'd have been on there. They'd have been looking. All right, Bo. I don't see no Bo. This motherfucker 2K a liar, bro. Ain't no Bo articles on here. That's what they would have done. So check my fans' articles out too. Bo does a lot of the prospect watches. A lot of the prospect watches that he pretty much announces on the show, he's already got articles out there on 3kingsboxing.com on those guys and those women. So check those out. A lot of informative, a lot of information in those articles, man. Definitely Heisenberg, Jason Quigley. That's fucked up, man. I definitely appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody that tuned in. Y'all know what we do, man. Typically every Tuesday and Friday, we're going live. It's going to be 5 to 5:30 Eastern time, 4 to 4:30 Central, and then 2 to 2:30 Pacific. Tuesdays and Fridays, but we like to do shows every day as well. So again, like I said, just come in here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You never know when we're going to go live like what we did tonight. All right, until the next one, we out.